You also have way too
aggressively white.
I mean, yes, and it's not even the light or anything. Just like even outside in the pitch dark, all of a sudden, you look like night cam. You look like you're in night cam footage with like all the other raccoons and possums and.
My brothers, the thing is, it's like even in family pictures, I look like a negative because my brothers are Sicilian because of my half brothers. So they have these gorgeous olive skin and this dark hair. And there I am standing beside just.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, there's a little ghost girl in your picture. It's bad.
The FedEx Sicilian. And because I don't get because I know you said that you're German.
Yeah, I'm just German.
Also, to look at you, one would assume Scottish and Irish.
Yeah.
Same.
Crop on crop.
Yeah, same. Like when people around me, they're like, "Wow, we can't believe you're not even like 1% like African," and I'm like, "I know." I do the Kevin James thing. I'm like, well.
The nice thing is, it's like where everybody assumes I'm Irish, and also because I have like the quintessential like Catholic name, like Mary Elizabeth. Mm-hmm. So I get tons of shit for anytime I go anywhere on St. Patrick's Day. People just give me stuff. Yeah, like, oh, you pretty lass, here you go. Yeah.
They keep trying to kiss you, and all of a sudden you gotta whip out the old pepper spray, which is a lot more seasoning than most Irish folk are used to.
Yes,
pepper spray.
Yeah.
So hey, anyway, thank you all for coming to the Destination Podcast. Obviously, we've had a little bit of a break as well. Things got crazy, and also Spider-Man 2 came out, and that has taken up my entire couple weeks. So 100%ed though. So anyway, thank you all for listening. Across from me, very funny lady. She's also one of my proudest pupils from the School of Talk that I do every other Wednesday. And also she will be Ginny Weasley in our upcoming roast of Harry Potter.
Come on.
Yeah. People are like, typecasting is wrong. It's like, yeah, well, I still do it.
Some stereotypes are true, man.
Yep. So anyway, Emmy Buttrick, thank you for coming on the Destination Podcast.
Thank you for having me. This is my first ever podcast, so now I feel like more of a legitimate comedian.
I've popped 3 podcast cherries.
Oh my,
and no real cherries. Once I got in the game, everyone had already been pretty run through. So.
Oh my God.
I mean, it had to be to go for me. I mean, again, I've had a beer gut since I popped out my mom. So like.
Oh God.
But and I wonder why women aren't attracted to me because like I talk shit about myself all the time.
Well, I mean,
it's the whole like not confident thing. It's like, oh no, I'm very confident. I'm confident that I hate myself more than anyone else I know.
Oh, that's the weird thing where everybody thinks that like comedians are so arrogant and such like that. It's like we have such crippling self-esteem. It's like how in the hell can we be arrogant? I don't see it. I don't.
It's one of the only things that like it generally pisses me off if I ever like hear any kind of like, like whispers or rumors that people are talking shit and they're like, yeah, Destin's like so full of himself. And I was like, have you heard a single conversation with me? You would know
how much I hate
myself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like I would say, I mean, the few times that I do anything to where it's like, I might come across that I'm like, oh, I'm like, loving myself. It's like, well, yeah, because if I don't love myself, nobody else is going to.
Exactly. Especially doing comedy, I've learned that it's like I had a very low self-esteem as a kid and as a teenager. So as an adult, I've worked on my self-esteem and I have a very healthy sense of self now. But even now, it's challenged because as a comic, good God, people do not support you.
Yeah.
No, it's almost like they want to flee.
Well, yeah, because there's the whole issue of people. Obviously, once they're putting on their social media selves, they're putting out this fabricated version of themselves, how they want to be seen.
Right.
There's the whole thing of like, you can't ever be seen. Even if someone makes like a self-deprecating joke and you think it's really funny, you can't be seen finding it funny, because then you're an asshole. And that's the one thing people nowadays cannot stand, is being seen as an asshole.
See,
so.
I'm a total goober. I laugh at everything. I love everything because it's like I know then the heart algorithm will get, if you heart something, the algorithm pushes that post up and gets it more seen. So it's like anytime anyone's in the art scene, whatever, I heart everything that they post, trying to get the algorithm to give them a little bit more of a boost. So no, it's like, to me, it's like, the art is such a collaborative arena. Why on earth would you want to kind of shit on someone else's parade? I don't conceive of that.
Right.
But I'm also like a little over just like a year and a month into this. So until I become, adequately jaded.
You'll get there. I have faith. I have faith you'll get there.
I mean, hey, it's already been kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, in your brief period of time, I mean, we've messaged, I'm not going to say names on the podcast or anything. Now, if you subscribe to the podcast, we will have a blooper section where we will name drop everyone that's ever done us wrong.
Everyone. And I have a lot of ex-husbands.
2 of them will have to get a Ouija board out for, though.
Well, or we can
allegedly
just go visit my basement.
Yeah. But,
make me get the hose.
Yeah. But no, I mean, early on, like you learn, and you've messaged me like when we've been having our conversations, and at some point you'll drop something about like, hey, aren't you supposed to be like encouraging me to do this? And I was like, oh yeah, never mind, it's all great, it's all
sure.
Everyone's gonna be very friendly for you, open all the doors for you.
They can't wait to see
people are just happy to see that you're getting on shows.
No, I have found that is and like people that you don't think are watching your social media whatsoever are watching it like a hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people have been name dropping me. Like one person did name drop me, but they told me they were going to. But it was kind of shocking because this person had years and years and years in the business, and I'm like, why are you name dropping me to get onto a show? Mm-hmm. It's like, that's interesting, but at least they said that they did. But I've had other people at another club that I have a relationship with be like, oh, they said that they knew you. Is that true? This person's literally never spoke to me.
Right.
Yeah, like literally never spoke to me. But apparently they watch my social media enough to know that I get, shows at that club.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean? All comics know each other. What are you talking about?
Yeah, of course.
We're all great friends.
Each other.
Yeah, we're all great friends. Dave, me and Dave, we're tight. You know what Dave I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously.
And the thing is, if they would have just said, like, hey, like, how do you get, I would tell you in a heartbeat. That was the weird thing. I was like, why didn't they just ask me? I would have just been like, hey, talk to this person. That's who does it.
Yeah.
There is no gatekeeping on my behalf. I'm too much of a newbie.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be like the equivalent of like, having to like, if you're like on a preschool parking lot or whatever, and you go to like just this like really confident like 4-year-old or whatever.
It's my milk.
It's like guarding the suckers. It's like, what's the password?
Exactly. Like, it's like, oh, like this is who books that show. You want it here. This is their information. Yeah, I'd have no idea. But apparently some people are like cagey with that stuff. So yeah, not me. I don't care. I think everybody's funny if you're out there doing it, and especially if you're doing something different than me. I especially want you on a show that I'm doing, because that way, if the audience doesn't dig me or doesn't dig you, they'll dig the other person. We'll be very opposite of each other.
I say I love that you've already picked up on that, and there are people that have been producing shows for years, and they're like, nope, we want all the same comics, we want all of our friends, we want the same show. We want, and no, that's the thing. Like when I'm booking shows, one of the first things I think of more is not even so much like gender, race, all that. I think of styles.
Right.
I try to have someone that's maybe a little more dry, deadpan. I think I try to get someone that's like super crazy energy, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one white guy that's on every show, me.
Kevin James.
Yeah, hey. I will edit that out. But
not that one. The guy I went to school with.
Oh yeah.
That's the ticket.
Yeah. No, I say no. He's the king of Queens. I'm the king of Newark. Get it right. I love that moniker, by the way, because that is such a Columbus thing.
It is.
Because the moment, if one of the Columbus comics like ever name dropped me as the King of Newark in Newark, they'd be like, who the fuck is he? Like,
but if you say your name in Columbus, they say the King of
Newark.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean that literally happened at the Milo when I was there because I was like, I said,
Mhm.
yeah, no, Destin, like, oh, the King of Newark, literally,
Yeah.
literally that fast.
Yeah. and like, I don't know, that kind of also evolved because like, I have the ongoing joke of I would even wear a crown at some occasions.
That's awesome.
And the thing is, the crown, it is a Spirit Halloween crown. And you know that because I purposely left the tag on it to let people know, hey, I'm cheap as shit. So maybe that also was like, go figure, the King of Newark is even wearing a Spirit Halloween crown
with a tag
that it's like on brand.
Yeah.
And then that there was that whole thing, and even then I only started wearing the crown more as an homage to Biggie than anything. And then so I went from Biggie to the Burger King, and then the King of Newark. That's how that all happened.
I have one of those Burger King face mask things of the king. And I wear it with a white, I wear it with a big white fur coat, and just randomly took pictures all throughout COVID and would post them throughout the house. Like once I was at like 14 months of isolation in that house, I was just posting myself dressed as the king with my head in the oven. Like, today's the day, kids. Have it your way. I just slowly lost more and more in my mind.
Oh yeah. I mean, so I actually, once upon a time, I was on it was a roast of fast food, or it was like the roast of Ronald McDonald, and they had other fast food mascots. And the person putting it together,
Wendy,
wanted me to be. That's actually where I met Mark Hale. Fun fact to name drop. He was the Colonel, and he was fantastic.
Yeah, when I saw him at Gresso's, and I just heard that he was going to start offering classes, and literally when I saw his Colonel Sanders, I'm like, I want to learn from that man.
Oh, he was fantastic.
So good.
So when they asked me to be Subway, I'm like, why would you ask me to be literally the worst fast food chain ever? I don't care if they're listening right now.
I was an assistant manager for them.
They're
the worst.
Oh, they suck so much. Like as an adult, I'm like, we shouldn't have to pay for this. The government should turn Subway just into like a soup kitchen. And like,
because that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
I know the stock. It's literally just like it's Tyson's chicken, and it's Pillsbury cookies, and it's just generic crap.
Yeah, and like everything smells and tastes like the bread.
Yep. Which is like a wet, weedy sponge.
Yes, full of sugar.
Yes.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
I think that the white macadamia nut cookies actually have less sugar per weight than the white bread. Yes. Literally, it does.
I believe it.
I was at one night on shift, and one of the newbies that hired said that, and I was like, "There's no way!" And I went and looked. I was like, "Holy shit!" Yeah, I was like, "We just feed garbage." I was like, "It's like the fresh choice." I'm like, "Fresh diabetes."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Here, have some chips to go with that carb load you just took with you.
Right. But so when I was asked to be Subway again, already I'm like, man, I had to be what as an adult I can now say is the worst of the options. And there was a McDonald's, there was Wendy's, there was Chick-fil-A, there was Burger King, there was KFC, and then there was Uber Eats, which was just Matt Onesti. Okay, he's a handicap comic.
Oh,
yeah. Like one of my jokes was I was like, I feel really bad for him because he's the only Uber Eats driver that got a ticket for walking while intoxicated or something like that. or no, I don't know. I can't remember. It was a couple years ago now, but anyway, when I got Subway, I was like, okay, well, I'm already the worst brand. Let me really lean into this. Mm-hmm. And so I was Jared Fogle. Like I went to Goodwill. I bought like the big fat pants, and like I dressed up like a creepy youth minister.
I'm gonna go full pedophile.
Yes. Yeah, and already right away there like people like really bought into it. Again, maybe because like I have resting serial killer face, but like, yeah, people were like, "Oh my god, like he's like way too into the character."
Yeah.
And that's it. Method actor, baby. I'm kidding. I didn't fuck kids. I did not fuck kids. I just ate a lot of Subway the week leading up to it. That's it.
That's
was
it.
yeah.
I'm a cause I can't confirm. He did not actually penetrate children.
But yeah, anyway, now to bring the story full circle to the jumping off point. So it gets to Burger King, and the joke was, we all remember those creepy commercials with the Burger King, and they were always for breakfast, which is like, that's exactly how you want to start your morning, by seeing that face, right?
Right, yeah.
And I was like, the last time I saw a face that plastic and filled with preservatives, it was explained to me the magic of AMC movie theaters. And but then that
Nicole.
Yes.
Scientology,
Oh my
and
God.
still her face looks like a freaking alien explosion.
Yeah, her face looks like an e-meter.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But then, so the final tag of it was even, and yet somehow I'm still the thing of kids' nightmares.
That's actually really good.
So yeah, no, that was and like I only had one food service job, and that was Bob Evans. But even that, I'm actually not going to say anything too bad about it. I mean, the food itself wasn't that sketchy. It was coming from their actual, like, their farms. I wasn't seeing any like Tyson or something on there. So.
Nice.
But about the sketchiest thing was that, the eggs were, came in carton, and they were already like pretty much like liquefied, I guess. So with any scrambled egg you got, we were not scrambling a real egg back there.
Right.
Like, they basically already like taken out most of the whites, which is something I think we need to do in Ohio. We need to take out most of the whites.
Just take them over to West Virginia, where they have that documentary about them.
Yeah.
Somebody else took her baby. Sorry. The sexiest of all the whites. I can do that accent way too easily.
Yeah. So speaking of white trash from Appalachia, you are from Appalachia.
Yes, I am. Here's your one chance, fancy doing.
I'll say. So what got you out of the set of the Deliverance, though? What brought you into Ohio?
Well, no, I'm from Ohio. I'm just from literally the most southern point.
Oh, Ironton?
South Point. No,
Oh,
literally
South Point.
Point. Any further south, you're in the river. So I grew up there.
At least you'd be clean there.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of. It's I remember.
Yeah. Getting all of Pittsburgh's garbage.
Yeah, the joke there is about the 3-eyed piranhas. That's always been the running joke. But up until like I was a teenager, you actually it was not safe to eat the fish that you caught out of the Ohio. Now it's technically safe. Yeah.
That's how Buckeye Lake is. Technically it's safe.
Technically it's safe. I mean, as long as you're not pregnant or anything.
Right.
Does the kid have to have 4 arms and legs? Doesn't gotta be proportionate. I mean, come on, it's a little ableist. No, grew up there. Idiotically fell in love. And
you heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
Don't fall in love.
My husband lived in Columbus, so we relocated up here.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been up here like forever.
Oh, so this is 4th husband.
Yes, 4th husband.
Okay.
Fourth. I collect them.
So was it the first one that got you out of South Point?
No.
Okay.
No, I was in that entire area. Neither barefoot nor pregnant or particularly advantageous in any of them until like the 3rd.
Oh wow.
Yeah, stupidly for love, like really idiotically. Like I tell people, it's no different than someone else in their late teens, early 20s getting in relationships. I just married everyone. I had jerk radar. If there was a jerk within 200 miles, I was going to find him. I'm making mine. Yeah. It's like, how do you say no if the jewelry's good? And my first husband proposed to me 9 days after meeting me.
Wow.
Like no ultimatums on my end, no nothing, no. And then my second husband proposed to me 10 days after meeting me.
Wow.
So at that point, if you say no, the relationship's over. But the thing is, it's 9 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like the
Wow.
first one, I'm literally a teenager. I got married before I graduated high school.
Wow.
Yeah. And I wasn't pregnant. But how stupid was I? I wasn't even sexually freaking active yet.
Hell, I didn't even get my first girlfriend until I was almost out of high school.
Oh, wow.
Like senior year was his first girlfriend ever.
And I didn't marry the first person I was engaged to. I was already engaged as a freshman in high school. By the time I was onto my first husband, that was my technically second engagement, but my very first boyfriend in nursery school proposed to me too, and he went up and told my mother that he was going to marry me as well. He's like, his name was Jeff Collins. It was my birthday. It was my third birthday. He was his fifth. He walks up to her and he's like, "My name is Jeff Collins."
Oh, he's robbing the cradle.
Yeah, 5 years old, 3. It's like, "My name is Jeff Collins." He's like, "And I'll go marry your daughter. I'm 5 years old." Mom's like, "Well, nice to meet you, Jeff." Yeah, no.
And so the first two probably proposed with a ring pop.
No, crazy enough. Like the first one was a manager at Wendy's. He took his work very seriously.
Yes, yeah.
And
committed to the brand.
Funny enough, like during homecoming week in high school, we actually dressed up as Wendy and Dave Thomas. Mostly to make people very uncomfortable. And it worked. But yeah, no, the first one he worked at Wendy's, so he actually was able to get me a cute little ring at Kay's Jewelers. And the second one, the one I actually married, what was he doing at the time? I actually was more advantageously employed than he was when we got married. He moved in with me. I had already moved out of my house. He was living with his mother. I was 17. He was 23, living with his mom.
Wow.
He was a bartender. Yeah, that was my idiocy.
Yeah.
But like, we're still good to this trend. And the thing is, I was bridesmaid at his second wedding.
Oh, nice.
And he named his daughter after me. His daughter is my namesake.
Wow.
No jokes. His daughter is my namesake.
Wow.
Like, talk about full freaking circle.
Yeah.
And I literally said at his second wedding, if it wasn't for me, this day wouldn't have happened. If I hadn't divorced him, he couldn't be Andre's second wife. That's how we do it in Appalachian.
Yeah. Life is short. Strike while the iron's hot. You know?
Exactly. Why hold grudges?
I love that they mature moonshine longer than they do relationships.
Oh yeah, especially me, because
Yeah.
I think people think where it's like I've been married 4 times or something, like I did it for like, money or something. No, just complete stupid dumb, and I divorced quickly every time. I mean, my first marriage lasted right at a year. My second marriage right at 2 years. My third, a year. My fourth, 18 years.
There you go. So third time isn't the charm.
No.
Fourth time.
Fourth time. Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, because up until that last one, that's about how long my 3 real relationships have lasted.
See, and all you do.
I had 2 years and one was 1 year.
I just like cake more than most people. I think that's just what it comes down to. It's like, I just like parties and cake.
Yeah.
Give me a dress and a freaking cake.
Yeah. Well, actually, I take that back. I had 2 other long-term relationships, but those ones were like a month and 4 days, because it was April 1st till May the 4th. And that was actually the girl I lost my virginity to. Fun fact.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, I lost my virginity on April Fool's Day. No joke.
Oh wow.
And then.
Well, you have to be a comedian if that's the circumstance.
I thought so too. And then.
See, I lost my virginity to my brother, so that's why I'm a comedian.
Right. Your therapist loves that one, I bet.
Yes.
And then May the 4th, a friend and I, there was 2 of us, 2 friends and I, we were planning a whole Star Wars day, because of course, and then saw her out in public with another guy, and like I even just pulled the, hey, what's going on? If she was like, any kind of savvy, she could have, just been like, oh, hey, this is a guy I'm going to school with. We're on lunch break from class. No, she immediately clammed up and started getting all stuttery and all guilty and all that. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Peace.
Odd.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the one I lost it to, with that wonderful relationship. And like I don't care. Like I was saying, I have more protection over my smoking weed virginity than I had my actual virginity.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm still holding out on like the act of smoking weed, and I'm saving it. Well, I was gonna save it for Snoop, but apparently he quit.
He quit. Yeah.
So now I got solve for like Wiz Khalifa or someone like that,
Or I mean, like,
or Willie.
I was gonna
or-
say
yeah,
Willie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I came to that late in life though. I didn't even start that until I was 31. Crazy enough.
Wow.
Yeah, because I mean, my dad did it my entire childhood and stuff. I mean, the joke was they were going to name me after what conceived me. And yeah, no, I was one of those people that I don't like really necessarily feeling out of control. And I believed all the bullshit propaganda that you're fed, like from the DARE program and stuff when you're a kid. So I was like, I want to go nuts. And then I had back surgery, pump back surgery, and all this other stuff. And I do not like opiates. And I'm from like the opioid overdose, right? I mean, that's where it all is. I went to school at Marshall University, Huntington, where, you know, everybody's walking zombies most of the time now, unfortunately. It's getting better. It's getting better.
Yeah.
But so I dislike opiates, and I like the way, plus they also really screw with your mental alacrity. It slows you down quite a bit. I feel like my brain is like stuffed with, you know, saran wrap and then put in a freezer next door when I'm on opiates. And I don't like that. I don't like that drugged up feeling. I don't get that with THC. So it's purely for me. It's a medicinal thing that just happens to be the side effect makes you giggly and like really like cake.
Yeah. Because I don't like the feeling personally.
Right.
And also I already snack too much, and I already don't have much of a desire to do anything when I'm home. So like if I amplified that, I would never write another joke.
I mean, even George Carlin says like THC opens up a little bit. He's like, even if he struggled with writer's block, which you can't even imagine George Carlin struggled, he's like, it would help open him up. He's like, just a little bit. He's like, you don't want to take too much. He's like, because then you do get numb.
Yeah.
He's like, to just a little whiff of something, because it does open up something in the creative mind that's just not normally there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I just don't do it. I drink because it's legal, basically. And even then, I don't do that as
now,
much.
Everything's becoming legal very soon.
Not with my day job.
Yeah, true. Right. Federal.
Yeah.
Well, Colorado, Las Vegas, things like that. I'm happy just because as a medicinal patient now that rec is legal and the medicinal prices should come down. Yeah. Because typically they tax the rec and then they make it easier for the patient.
Right. That's how it should be.
Yeah. Well, of course I feel that way, but then there always will be products that only medicinal patients will have access to. Recreational patients won't. That's the way it is in Colorado, Las Vegas, all those places.
Yeah. When I was in DC, Baltimore recently, I was the only one that wasn't partaking, but like I was the driver, so naturally I go to a dispensary with them. Right. And yeah, they even kind of broke it out for me because I was even like, I've never been in one of these. Oh. And it was so weirdly corporate, which already I'm like, this has to really mess with some potheads. Oh yeah. That it's corporate. They're sold out. It's not punk rock anymore. It's not at all. Yeah, no. I mean, it was like so super clean, sterile, very subdued, but not in a cool pot subdued way. Yeah. It was a very weird vibe. Yeah. It's
kind of like
the couch is very comfortable though.
It's like a Walgreens.
I was like, man, I don't even need indica. I don't even need indica to be in this couch. But
it's me, it's murder.
Yeah. But anyway, so you came from South Point.
Yeah,
and then
South Point.
Made your way to Columbus.
So
then how long did it take you to start doing, well, actually first we'll start with the fact you were in improv first. Yeah. What made you start doing improv?
Pretty much because I knew I wanted to do stand-up, and the ones that I admire the most have an improv background. Plus, I look at everything as a kind of student. I try to study everything, and I wanted to go at it in a kind of methodical way. And I thought, well, if you study the heart of comedy, which is sort of an improv base, you can go from that to other things. So I just kind of wanted exposure. So I started at improv at the Nest, really liked it. And then while I was taking improv there, I was like, well, I think I could do stand-up. And then went to LA for my birthday. And I was like, okay, there's literally a comedy club like on every flipping corner here. If I don't do it here, I will never forgive myself because there's opportunities everywhere. So I went and did stand-up in LA, got really good feedback. And then I came back from that trip to the Nest and was like, okay, I want to take their stand-up clinic. And found out that I was already doing in my material what they were teaching, and what things I didn't even realize I was doing, I was already doing. And that was just from a lifetime of just loving stand-up comedy and just taking it apart, listening to specials for hours on end, over and over and over. Like everybody that's obsessed with it. And from that point running it was just, I've not stopped ever since that those open mics in LA. I haven't stopped.
That's awesome. It amazes me when I hear like other comics say like, I don't watch stand up anymore. I'm like, then why are you still doing it, man? Like, then you don't love it.
No.
Like I think I still, again, like you look at my Netflix. I mean, my whole watch again is almost entirely just every stand up special they've ever put on there, because like I love stand up.
Yeah.
Like I still watch it to this day. YouTube, Amazon Prime, Hulu, whatever.
It's my favorite art form.
Same.
It's my favorite. It's like, that's so crazy to me. I'd be like a musician saying they don't listen to music. It's just
right.
Like no. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or
there.
like that's, well, also I'll say this as a like a musician, I can almost understand like if there's like a metal musician and they're like, I don't like listen to metal as much anymore. Well, I can kind of get that.
Yeah. I mean, it would be like, I'm a set up punch comic. I don't my favorite genre though is storyteller. It would be kind of like, right. I don't know if I would want to listen, because I don't want it to be influencing my stuff either, but I'm still going to listen to my Ron Whites and my Jerry Clowers, my storytellers.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, I get if you're trying to work on something, you may not want to listen to a comic that's similar because you don't want to be influenced in any way, but there's so many different comics out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's weird. There's less subgenres in comedy as opposed to music, but at the same time, there's so many different styles within a subgenre of comedy.
Yes. That's why I don't sometimes get the competitive nature within comedy, because I'm like, for what one person says, well, that's not very funny, someone else will think that's hysterical.
Yeah.
And it just depends on what your flavor is. And sometimes even with me, it's like a comic I don't necessarily like all the time, but I'm in a certain mood for. It's like, I love Jim Gaffigan, but I don't necessarily want to listen to him all the time.
Right.
It's just like sometimes you want something edgier or something like that. It's like, even the comics I love doesn't mean I go through cycles of wanting to hear them more or less than others.
Right.
So I don't understand that. I'm like, I think there's like room for everybody, and everybody has a different perspective and a voice. And
like as you obviously continue in your journey and you do more cities, more rooms, more clubs, more bars, all that stuff, like, believe it or not, the occasional bomb gets so much easier because when you learn the lesson of again, that you are not for everyone,
right?
But there are people that you are for. And that's the thing. I only had 2 bombs this whole year. And both times it did, there's the whole like, okay, I'm not going to focus too much on this one. Sure. I learned from it. Like I took something from it, and that's the joy of bombing.
Right.
But ultimately you just have to always remember, but then like weeks ago, I had like 3 or 4 like killer sets in a row. Just because, there are people that like, if you're a storyteller comic, you're going to have rooms like my one in July where they're like, we don't want stories. We want setup punch. We want the quick one-liners and stuff. But then, and vice versa. Sometimes if you're too quick and you're just a one-liner comic, you're going to tire the audience out way too much, way too soon. And by the end, you're going to fall flat.
Yep.
So comedy is obviously very subjective. So, just don't ever beat yourself up just because you bombed. It just means you weren't right for that crowd. It doesn't mean that you're a bad comic.
Right.
It just means you were just a bad comic for that particular room, that particular vibe, those particular people.
Right. And for me, it's like, if I just think as a female, you have the extra burden of, you do have those idiots on, and I think this is completely equal opportunity on genders, that think women aren't funny.
Mhm.
So no matter what you do, it's going to be, if that's that person in that audience, it's no matter what you say or do, like, oh, this chick, they just immediately tune you out.
Yep.
And I've seen women do it just as much as men.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't really like female comics. Actually, I've heard more women say that about female comics.
I have as well.
Yeah, like, I don't really get it. I'm like, I'm like,
Yeah.
there's too many out there. It's like, I still to this day, it's like, I adore Phyllis Diller, and I've read her autobiography twice. And, you know, for anybody from that, and then the modern ones like Isla Schlesinger and oh goodness, Taylor Tomlinson, and all them. Oh goodness, here I'm clapping in the mic. Oh, Whitney. Yeah, Whitney Cummings. Yeah, it's like, I was like, the podcast I listen to all the flipping time.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's those women are also just so very different. But they've even said it's like, you just have to go out there as a female, just assuming, who cares if they don't think I'm funny? I know that half the audience is going to assume that anyway. So I've got to win. I just work twice as hard to win them over. Yeah. So yeah, it's very different.
And get less of the pay.
And get less of the pay, of course. Luxury of being female.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like I hear that all the time. And like, I will always like and especially like when people will like come up to you and they're like, hey, you're a comedian. I want to hear some comedy. Where it's like, who can I tune into? And if I ever like recommend like a woman, like a lot of times they will like react like with their body language of like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, like women are funny. I mean, I've been told they're funny, but like, who knows? Maybe one day you might change my mind.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you never know.
But no, like I was saying, actually, when I was, again, according to Facebook memories, when I was in the Dominican Republic last year.
Oh, wow. This time last year was the day.
Yeah, today is the day I came back.
Oh, this like complete abysmal hell that we're having.
Yeah, it was me in the Punta Cana airport with it was a Dominican beer and then a personal Pizza Hut pan pizza. And I was like, one of these will remind me of my time away from America. The other reminds me why the United States or America is the greatest country in the United States.
Nicely played. Nicely played. Yeah.
But so this time last year, I was at an all-inclusive resort in the Dominican Republic, aka Literal Paradise. And they have like 3 big like swim up bars in like these giant pools. And I was in one of them. And also, fun fact, I was maybe one of 20 people who in that whole resort that English was the first language. I'm talking like of the tourists.
Holy crap.
There. Like, yeah, there was like
that had to be cool.
I would say any white person I saw, they were speaking like German, Russian, French. They, it was always that. Yeah, and immediately I was like, oh, okay, who can I talk to? And I finally heard the mother tongue. And specifically and the thing is, and they were complaining about the shower doors in our rooms, and I was like, oh, finally, Americans.
American. Someone complaining,
exactly. I was like, I've never been happier to hear someone's mundane problem. Yeah. And I go up to them and I kind of even like I do what I do best, and that's I weasel my way in their conversation and I crack a joke, and then I crack a second joke. And at that point, I even then brought up the fact I was like, I wasn't sure where you guys are from, but I heard you complaining, and I was like, and I was glad to hear you're Americans. And then they got offended. And they're like, hey, buddy, we're Canadian. I'm like, oh, damn it.
Oh.
So close. But then I continued talking to them all. And the thing is, and they were from Sarnia, which is the home of one of my favorite female comics, Catherine Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
And I asked, and like one of the women, they were like, yeah, we went to school with her. And
that's cool.
Yeah. And the way she said it, I was like, oh, she doesn't like Catherine Ryan.
Yeah. I'm sure that could
be. But yeah, the odds, because, then to hear her talk about it, it's like a really small industrial town. And they did. Also, this guy, one of the guys, he was like Canadian Idris Elba. He was such a handsome black man, deep voice. He kind of looked like Idris Elba.
Nice.
The eyes weren't as piercing and beautiful.
They were Canucky, you know.
A little Canucky, yeah. But still, all around, like, very attractive man. You know, had like this nice jewelry on and everything. And then his wife came up next to him, and like I saw it, and my first thought was like, oh wow, tax season's a thing in Canada too. You know? I was like, you don't have to keep her around all year, man. That's just strike between January and April. That's when you need fat white women. So I didn't say that. I was like, I'm not gonna.
Idris Horton is what I'm thinking, because it's like Tim Hortons and Idris Elba, the Canadian version. So Idris Horton.
Idris Horton.
Man, Idris Horton.
Yeah.
The Canadian Idris Elba.
The other time I was in Canada, when I started, I went to the Yuck Yucks in Toronto because that was like a bucket list club for me.
Cool.
Because Patton Oswalt had did a bit where he, in one of his early specials, where he talked about basically he had like some downtime in Toronto before his gig on the weekend. Mm-hmm. So they asked him to go and host the open mic as well.
Oh, very cool.
And he did. And he talks to this story about this guy on heroin, like fading in and out of consciousness during a bit. So I was like, I want to like be in the room that Dr. Pepper did his 3 stand-up bits at once.
I'm not on heroin, fading in and out of consciousness.
You're right.
I thought that's where you're going with it.
Oh, no.
I wanted to be a room.
Yeah, this whole conversation about how like I don't do weed, but I was like, yeah, strap me up.
But the
Black
years
Fire,
I was
let's
on
go.
smack, man.
Yeah. Come on, Maxwell Silver Hammer, ding ding, no. So, which also fun fact, that is also the room that I had my first truly killer set too.
Oh, that
is the room where I got my comedy fix, pun intended.
Ah,
yeah, that's the room that I was like, okay, I am going to do this the rest of my life now. Like, I want that feeling forever. Again, the heroin metaphor, it's really parallel here. So before that, it was one of the few times I was way too early to a gig, because I spent the whole day sightseeing in Toronto by myself, and it was fantastic. I had the best cheeseburger of my life in Canada. Which doesn't seem right.
Blasphemous, yeah.
Right? Yeah. I will blow up the spot. It's called Holy Chuck.
Holy Chuck.
Yep. Which I love the name already.
Yeah.
There was a whole lot of Chuck puns on the menu. Obviously, I love that too.
I as a vegan want to open up a restaurant that serves nothing but burgers and call it the Carnivore Cafe. There's part of me that you
have a market right here, so
be the ultimate Machiavellian vegan and do that.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Just put it all in my husband's name.
Oh, I mean, you
try to kill your meat eaters off a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh, as a vegan,
burgers, you animals.
As a vegan, you'll love my Holy Chuck order. I got a burger with cheese, bacon, caramelized onion, and cheese curds on it, and then I got foie gras poutine because I was balling.
It's the barnyard slaughter.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, foie gras is goose, and as a vegan, I'm sure you'll agree. If there's any animal that deserves to be eaten,
they're evil. Yeah, absolutely.
Like they deserve it.
They're true, absolutely.
It hurts my soul, my love of pork, when on my Instagram I follow 4 little like piglet pages, and I scroll it, and that's my Machiavellianism right there. Is I watch that and I just hurt my soul because they're so cute, and the little tiny baby oinks. Oh my god, they're adorable.
Yeah.
And even when they're like older, and like there's one of like they're ringing the dinner bell, and you like watch this like pig like running for its life to the dinner. And like once it gets closer, you can start hearing it snorting like, and I'm just like thinking like that's how I was like I relate. That's how I felt when I was going to the Dominican the resorts.
That's how I felt when I see cake.
Buffet. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, yeah. Back. So I had time to kill before the Yuck Yuck show, so I go to the world famous Toronto Hooters, where they shot Big Daddy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the final scene where Jon Stewart then, gets the kid and all that, and you see the original wife, his 5-year plan was
and he's back there. Yes, I love that movie so much.
So yeah, that Hooters, and then there's a guy I'm sitting next to or whatever, and we strike up a conversation, And at some point I bring up that, I'm American here. And I was like, first thought, you guys really do have a lot of Tim Hortonses.
They do.
They are
do.
everywhere.
They're everywhere.
They are everywhere. And like, thank God for Tim Hortons too, because first off, the quality is so much better at a Canadian Tim Hortons.
Oh my God! Like,
because in America they are kind of trash.
They are, but like there's a much larger
concept,
menu.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean
they care. They care about.
The food's it's legitimately better.
I also love that they have poutine.
Yes,
because they are like they're the essential Canadian restaurant, so they're like, we're gonna get a deep fryer just to make French fries. And, like, yeah.
And you can't even get a fry here in any of the U.S. stores.
Right.
I've not seen any of them, and it's like, for God's sake, you get poutine in the
it's strictly Canadian. They're like, yeah, we got to be the full Canadian experience here. But we got to the talking about it, and I was like, yeah, Tim Hortons in America, they've gone downhill in the last decade. And he's like, well,
trash.
Well, it's like, well, that's because they have different coffee now. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. It's like, so the farm that grew all of the beans for like every Tim Hortons had been the sole provider of Tim Hortons' coffee for like, I think 30 years. They had like a 30-year contract with this farm, and they chose not to renew the contract for like the Tim Hortons CEO or whatever. And do you know who swept that contract up immediately?
Starbucks.
I mean, close. I mean, think
Dunkin'.
Okay. Well, no, think big chain, just not renowned for their coffee until this point.
Until this point. Oh, McDonald's?
Yes. Which is why McDonald's is coffee.
Sense. Yes, McCafe.
Yeah.
That's how that started.
That's what caused McDonald's to like do the overhaul of all of their freaking McDonald's. And
Sam is the old chemical McDonald's.
Yes. That's why they got rid of the fun white, yellow, and red buildings, and they switched to this modern architecture of their grays and their wood paneling.
I hate that.
I hate it too. But that's what made them want to like become like a legit coffee place. And again, McDonald's coffee had got that was right around the time where I'm like, wow, their coffee's gotten much better.
True.
And that's why, because it's the original Tim Hortons beans, and then also that's why Tim Hortons coffee has gone a little downhill. But again, like the actual like the baked goods at the Tim Hortons in Canada though were far and away better than what they have here.
The only one I get here is I get the blueberry bagel plain.
Oh yeah,
I'm such a wild animal. Yeah,
right.
Blueberry bagel plain. They have a good vegetable soup when they run the vegetable soup. So yeah wild times.
Right. Yeah.
The only time I was in Canada is when my gay best friend and I decided we were going to go. We're 9 days apart in age, so my gay best friend and I go for our 25th birthday. And he was like, this is the one place in my entire life that people have mistaken me more for straight. Every time he left the hotel room, it was like, are your wife and I, are you having a good time? He's like, I did not marry that bad Lex. He's like, absolutely not. I am not like number 5. No. Yeah, everywhere we went, they just assumed. And he was just walking. He's like, is there anything worse than being a gay man in Canada in Niagara Falls? He's like, with these freaking female best friend. He's like, this is awful. Like,
you should have really fucked with him and took him to Montreal, which is like obviously the gayest part of Canada.
Exactly. Yeah.
He would have been like Butch in Montreal.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a West Virginian gay, so yeah.
Oh yeah. Even their twinks are like otters by everyone else's standards.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Those are my first experiences because
those Canadian bears, though, I can imagine.
True.
That would be the motherland for them.
Yeah. They really have to keep you warm
for sure
to be able to keep you alive.
Yeah. But so yeah. Anyway, back to the interview part of this. I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
So, who I know you said you love Phyllis Diller too, and I know it. I see it. Who are other big influences for you?
On stage, I want to be the unholy triad between Rita Rudner, Judy Tenuta, and Doug Stanhope.
Of course. Everyone that listens to this podcast already knows Doug Stanhope is my number one. So,
I think that's so cool. And actually, the same special Beer Heart Push is one of the ones I fell in love with him. I knew him before then and stuff, but just the fact that he just goes so full out, he just seems completely in his element. I think it's one of the best ever comedy specials I've ever seen. It's just brilliant.
Yes.
And so that was just what sold me on him from that day forward. But I always like the fact that Judith Sununa had this kind of out there, off kilter kind of persona, but she did that as a kind of a goof itself. She didn't want to ever be stereotyped. So she's like, if I'm a goddess, then you can't really think and expect the stupid, boyfriend jokes, husband jokes, all other stuff. I'm this persona that's not even human. So I don't have to do that stupid crap that you think I should just because I'm a female comic.
Right.
And I love that kind of subverting of that. Rita Rudner, frankly, because she helped me learn microphone technique and things like that, because it's like the very first open mic I ever went to, I saw somebody just bite it because they tripped over the microphone cord. And so you're like, oh, that's what's going to happen to me. So I went home and just started like looking at old YouTube videos and things. I'm like, okay, who's got like good microphone techniques so you don't just freaking fall over the damn cord? Because where I loved the comic I probably studied the most style-wise was George Carlin, and he paces. So when I would sit and practice and stuff, I would pace back and forth. I'm like, great, as soon as I get a chord, I'm biting it. It's just, I'm going down. So just those influences. And I've always loved comedy, always. I've had crap health my entire life. How I got through all of that was, Comedy Central, the HBO specials. I would literally just listen to comedians day in, day out as I was sick. I wasn't really into movies, things like that. It was always comedy. And that's what got me through stuff. So to me, comedians were just like rock stars. It's like music and comedy is what got me through all the difficult stuff in my life.
Right.
Because if you can laugh at something, you can get through anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like immediately, just like most comedians, a trauma response is to make a joke out of it.
Yep.
So
I say part of the reason why I'm single is because, again, everything's a joke to you. Yeah, it is. Everything is a joke to me.
The reason my relationship now works is because, not even knowing I was ever going to go into comedy, and our wedding vows, we had a custom wedding vows, and it says, I will laugh with you. And interestingly enough, my husband emphasized, he literally pulled me close, I will laugh with you. And because that was just our thing from the get-go. I've always just had this very, whatever life's bringing at you, just if you laugh at if you're still alive. So we just have adopted that. So yeah, you can find somebody that actually appreciates that. Now nobody else around him does or understands. Because everybody else thinks like, God, what? My husband doesn't smoke, drink, doesn't even curse, and I'm the complete opposite. Those are my favorite things. So yeah, but it works for him. So.
That's good. You found the formula. It's worked for 18
polar
years.
opposite.
So
And I honestly tell people that, because if you meet someone who's morally very similar but has completely different interests in you, because we're never bored. We never are that couple that's like, oh my God, what are we going to choose for dinner? I'm a vegan. He's not. We choose totally different things. You're never bored.
Right.
Because you never have this monotonous thing. This person's always interesting because they think completely different. Plus, it also works out that what makes him angry doesn't make me angry, and vice versa. So we don't really have a lot of conflict.
Right.
And there's always one of us calm.
Yeah.
So if I'm pissed off and he's just like, okay, I can handle this, or vice versa. If he's really worked up about something, it's typically something I won't be. And I'm like, okay, I can handle this. I'm the cool one in this situation.
Right.
I tried everything else. Even the first 2 marriages were even the Chinese zodiac of like, marry a tiger early. Well, I did that twice. It didn't do me any goddamn good.
Yeah.
So, and I don't believe in zodiacs or anything. I don't believe in any of that crap.
Yeah, same. So it's so weird you talk about the whole opposite track, because I'm convinced that's where I've gone wrong. Is I've always tried to find someone that's, we share almost all the same similar interests, all the same stuff, and it's not worked out. So the thing is, I'm now actively, if I'm going on dates and stuff, I'm trying to go for the exact opposite. So I need her to be smoking hot,
Yeah.
very not funny,
Okay.
basically no personality. I need an Instagram model.
Instagram model with the person I'm assaulting.
Exactly. That's
I know you just need an Instagram model.
Yeah, it's like, because that's the thing. I come home briefly to see the the middle of the road kid that we make, where they're kind of cute. They're like a solid, maybe, I don't know, 7, 8 on a good day.
An Instagram 7 or like?
Oh no, Midwest 7.
Oh, okay.
Okay, a Midwest 8. Let's say that. Midwest 8. An Instagram 6.
I was gonna say it's an Instagram 6.
Instagram 6.
A sliding scale.
But yeah, that's the thing. Talk to her a little bit for whatever girl dinner she eats or whatever, and then I go back on the road. I do what I love. I hang out with my comic friends. That's where I get all my actual conversation out and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So when I go home, then it's just we exist in the same space.
Yeah.
We cover to pay for the kid and the house, and then I go back on the road again and I enjoy my life. So that's what I'm looking for.
Well, yeah. I mean,
the amount of people in the comments
with the person I'm assaulting.
I really can't wait for the comments to see people that can't tell that I'm like
being facetious.
No, but I'm not being sarcastic. I'm finally coming out about my truth. I'm tired of dating all of these intelligent, mildly attractive,
right,
interesting, smart women.
Right.
I need hot and soulless.
Right, hot and soulless. You need a Midwest Kardashian.
Exactly.
I think Kim gets a bad rap. I'm not a Kardashian fan. I can honestly say, and not in a snobby way at all, because I watch complete trash television. I do watch Housewives and Below Deck Mediterranean and crap, but I've never watched Kardashians. But I think she gets a lot of shit for no reason. I actually admire her.
Absolutely.
She turned that sex tape into a career, and she's obviously has depth and soul with the things that she's doing with the Innocence Project. And I'm like, good for you.
That's the thing. I agree. I've never seen an episode.
Yeah.
I don't know much about her, but because of that, that's
everyone
the thing.
Hates her. That makes me intrigued by her, because I'm like, why does everybody just hate you? You don't seem to be doing anything terribly wrong.
That's the thing. People hate her because she does nothing, and that's my reason why I'm like, I don't like her, but I don't dislike her.
Yeah, I don't either. It's like I don't dislike the Kardashian tribe. I don't know enough about them to like or dislike, other than it's like, they're in the zeitgeist. So I'm like, hey, good on you. For frick's sake, you're all really freaking powerful and successful.
I would almost say they're like the Nickelback of people, but the thing is, Nickelback at least has a few more reasons to actually hate them. Even though, again, I'll be on record, Nickelback doesn't deserve as much of the hate as they got.
I met Chad Kroeger for a hot second up at Cleveland Clinic. He was up there being seen, and he was just randomly at the cafeteria there. And he was like, everybody who came up to him was just signing autographs, everything. And like, no entourage, nothing. It was just nice as can be. And he just like signed really well, actually, for my mom, a little Post-it note, because my mom was all kinds of like, yeah, she loved Nickelback. It was one of the few like rock bands, because she was coming from a country background. She loved him. But the fact that he had no entourage and he sat there in the middle of his, like, he just had his little tray down, signed about probably 10 to 12 autographs, and just went on his merry way. It was just nice to people. That was nice. It was like, hey, good. Like, the Canadian thing's true. He's like just a nice dude.
Right.
Then I was kind of like, good God, we're like, swarming him, and he's at a freaking hospital. He'd probably be like, get the hell away from me. It felt very weird and intrusive.
That's the thing. Did. The hospital, that's like one space I would not blame him for like snapping at people.
It felt very weird and intrusive.
Because like, he's not there just hanging out.
No.
He's not there,
he was at the cafeteria getting him a lunch.
It's not because he heard they have a good Reuben. Like,
I gotta say, the food at Cleveland Clinic cafeteria.
Ironically,
they do have TCBY yogurt at the time,
and also they have a good Reuben. There you go. Next time you're at the Cleveland Clinic, check out that Reuben. But that's the thing. Yeah, if I ever do like run into anyone like with some kind of fame, like again, I always try to read the room too. Like, that's the thing. Like if it's a place where it's not like a heavy issue while they're there, like or like if you see them in front of a lawyer's office, like they're probably not there for a good thing. They probably accidentally they're probably getting sued by some classic rock band that isn't making money now because record sales aren't a thing. So yeah, pick your spot where if it's a coffee shop, okay.
Yeah, like DMV, no.
Yeah. Actually, maybe yes, because they're like, oh, thank God, please distract me from this horse shit.
True, yeah, because the DMV is a little portal of hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it actually might be advantageous, one of the few places to be, seen and spotted, because maybe you'll think, oh, well, maybe the clerk will be like, oh, darn it, they're famous. Let me get them out of here quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hospital, I kind of felt a little bit bad. But he was in a cafeteria. I just thought it was random and odd that he would just eat the freaking cafeteria food. But I guess everybody gets fucking hungry, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there.
It's there. And, I mean, compared to most hospitals, it's not bad.
Right. I was going to say, as someone that's been in and out of hospitals a lot, what cafeteria would you say? Or what hospital has the best cafeteria? If you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one, okay, this is going to be...
Riverside has a pretty good cafeteria.
Riverside does have... Okay, here locally, I can tell you exactly as the best cafeteria. Yeah. Locally, the worst is Ohio State, by far.
I can believe that.
Oh, my God. I mean, you would just last year when I was in there for surgery, my vegan sandwich was quite literally white bread, dill pickles, a slice of onion, and a slice of lettuce, and that was it.
Wow.
That was all they had. That was it. This one woman could not understand that French toast sticks were not vegan. And she was like, she had this very thick accent and stuff. I was like, I can't eat these. I'm like, just bring me the fruit cup she's like, they bring you the fruit cup every day. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I can't eat French toast sticks. I'm like, I said, not only am I a vegetarian, I'm like, I'm actually allergic to egg. I was like, I can't even have like the freaking flu vaccines and stuff. I got to get the egg free. I was like, so no, I can't have your little sticks of death. Yeah. I can't. Like, every good French toast has freaking egg in it because it's a big batter. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the worst. The best around here locally. Well, and it's a dirty, dirty thing to say, but they got really good carrot cake. Is Mount Carmel East.
Oh, yeah.
Mount Carmel East has really good carrot cake, and Mount Carmel East actually does a halfway decent veggie burger.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, don't go for anything else there. I mean, it's like worse than a veterinarian hospital. But they've got really good carrot cake and a good veggie burger.
How's the caramel? I hate me. And here's the thing. Every time I'm around a comedian and they do a Destin joke, where it's like it goes beyond a pun, like it's so much worse, and it's like so forced.
Does it make you like one?
That's the thing. Like every time I hear someone make a Destin joke at me, I'm just like, oh, this is why nobody texts me to hang out. Because so much of my day is I was like, why does anyone ever want to like just hang out with me, go get a drink, go bowling or something like that? And then every now and then someone hits me with my own medicine, and I was like,
no, I understand. I get it. Yeah, I'm insufferable.
Yes, that's the exact word too. I'm like, yep, I'm insufferable. It's like not even obnoxious. I wish I was just obnoxious. No, I'm insufferable.
I can't even be put up with.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably what makes you a good comic.
I mean, yes. And the thing is, I've really had to focus on it. You're also, I mean, you're not nearly to the level I was at, but I mean, like, there's always sometimes because you're very funny off the stage too.
Oh, well, thank you.
And that's because there's a lot of comics where they're like chill, they barely talk at all, and then when they get on stage, they're fine. Then there's the comics that again, there's the always on.
Oh,
but here's the thing, no. Like you're not insufferable about it. You're not obnoxious. You're the right amount. I'm trying to get to that because I used to be
always on.
Always.
See,
on.
Okay. In the short amount of time I met you, you are not. I see. I think you're a good balance.
You caught me. Well, that's the you caught me right as I was coming down. But hell, even earlier this year, like I was just always on. Everything that came out of my mouth, whether I was holding a mic or not, had to be funny. And
is that like what comes from like insecurity or something?
Yes.
Where you're like trying to prove the world like I'm funny.
Yes. Because I now we're turning this into therapy. All right, here we go.
But that's where I think immediately.
So again, from the age of 13, I already got this love of comedy. And so then I was like, oh, then I'm going to be the funny guy. I was like, because again, as I said, I had a beer gut as a kid. Like, I was not attractive to girls in high school. Fortunately, still not. Fortunately. But when I was in high school and not attracted to high school girls, then it was a problem.
Yeah, that's tragic.
I was like, so I had to do something. I had to be funny. And that's the thing, I would be funny. And then they were like, the best way I can describe it is I would crack a joke in class. They would start to laugh. They would turn to see who it came from. And then they would stop laughing.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was never allowed to be the class clown. There was one class actually let me do it. But that's also because there were two other people that were even more insufferable than me. So I was just better by proxy. So yeah, sophomore English class. That was the one time I got.
Saving grace.
So yeah, ever since then, and that's the thing, and it always hurt because like I was this is a great Tom Kenny quote.
Okay.
When people say he was the class clown, he's like, no, I was entirely too shy. I was like, I was the class clown's writer. And that's the thing, at one point I got to be the class clown's writer because then I would tell these hot boys. Please don't clip that out and take it out of context.
These hot boys. These hot boys.
Again, the fact that I have Jared Fogle and Hot Boys in the same episode, like that's right there.
Right
for
now,
all of you.
You canceled yourself.
I did. I know. Hey, you had to have something to cancel to begin with, so now I'm fine. I just had to go back to the open mics. But anyway, so the class clown's writer. Yeah, and that's the thing. And it always hurt when I would say something funny and they would laugh and then they would kind of sort of repeat the joke in class and then they would kill in the room, which is one of the reasons why I'm very adamant against joke theft now.
Yeah.
It's also why it hurts when other comics tell me like, yeah, you're a great writer. And they would emphasize that you're a writer.
Right. Oh.
Yes. That's why that hurts. That's why I'm not going to like that's thing. People a lot of times writers are people that did stand up, didn't work out for them, and then they went into writing. Right. I will never do that. And then I've just been basically I spent so long trying to chase that validation of like, no, I am the class clown. But here's the thing, I finally got it. And now I'm actively trying to reel it back to where it's like, oh, now I can just go back to being Destin again.
Right.
And it had been so long that it was weird when I was like, all right, how like I'm now seeing things, I'm hearing things, and I'm not actually for the once in my life not thinking, how can I turn this into a dick joke?
Right.
I was like, oh, now I can just actually interpret things I see and hear, and now just get an honest like, hey, how does this make me feel or something like that? So.
Holy God, that's profound.
Yeah, so
no, it is. It's actually really profound. That's actually very mature because some people never ever get to that. They deal with that surface level. And
I'm mature as fuck, girl.
Yeah. The two whitest people I've ever said. Actually, I spoke the whitest sentence ever spoken earlier this year.
Oh, do tell.
I really do love a good rice pilaf.
Oh,
that is the whitest sentence I think I ever said. I really do love a good rice pilaf.
Oh.
Yeah, I even stopped myself when I said, I was like, it could be the most Caucasian thing I've ever said in my life.
I had one of those moments and now it's slipping. I can't. I distinctly remember.
White people are prone to dementia.
Yeah.
My mom died of terminal Alzheimer's.
Yeah, because every now and then I say something that like I'm amazed at the Caucasianness of it.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. Once again, I'll reference his name, Kyle Kinane. He does a bit where he talks about saying something that you realize is like too white, and his version of that was, man, I can't believe this castle doesn't have Wi-Fi.
That is very the caucasity of that.
The caucasity, yeah.
The sheer caucasity.
That should be the name of a special right there.
Caucasity.
Caucasity.
I know the name of my very first special. Now I'm going to say it.
Yes.
Somebody will steal it.
Okay.
I know exactly. It's unauthorized blue. Because I got wrote up for that in my HOA, and literally I painted. And the funny thing is, my house when I bought it was fucking blue.
Is this where the gray house thing comes from?
Yes.
It comes from that place?
Yes.
Okay.
And so it's like, if I wanted to paint it gravy, no problem. But yeah, so I got a little nasty gram from HOA, and it's like, you wrote unauthorized blue. And I was like, how is that not a gift that you're doing comedy? I was like, unauthorized blue. I'm like, all right, that's the name of my
That album's not going to be clean. Let's just say that.
No, it's not. It's not.
The fact you have it blue, that's your like most blue material right there.
Right there.
That is great. There's a lady by my childhood home. She had a similar issue. She wanted to paint her, and she was like a retired art teacher from like one of the local high schools around here. And she wanted to paint her house something, and then like she got letters that she had to like paint it back to something else. That her house couldn't be this color. So fortunately, her pettiness took over. She found the loophole. So she painted her mailbox this like ungodly mixture of like neon, like purple and pinks and like bright yellows and shit. And then her house went back to some, very approved color.
Yeah. My pettiness kicked in too. So I went around the neighborhood and I counted every single home that had color on it. And wrote them down. And I was like, so if you have a problem with mine, then you're gonna have a problem with all these. But I didn't give the addresses, I just did the examples. Right. It's like, so if everybody else is like, because please trust me, if everyone else that has any color on their house is going to get the exact same thing, it's like, I think you're going to have an issue.
Right.
And literally it went from unauthorized blue to blue not previously approved to okay. So I'm like, okay. Yeah. But no, they were going to try to say that I'd have to pay to repaint my house. I'm like, I literally bought this home when it was blue, but we changed HOAs, the management group, so they had no record of it being blue previously. So it's like, how can you tell me I can't paint it the color it was when I bought it? Right. Like, how is that even late? I'm like, well, we'll do it. I'm like, it's blue. Ooh. Yeah. I'm like, and there's a red house. I'm like, yeah, I went around the entire neighborhood. I'm like, there's all kinds of houses around here that aren't just gray. Right. Yeah, no, my pettiness kicked in. It's like, I'm going to narc, but I'm not going to narc. I'm going to narc, and then my unionization kicked in. It's like, I will unionize with the other colored homes. Me and the other coloreds will unite.
That is the least Caucasian thing you've ever said.
You cannot find us all.
We will rise up.
Rise up against your unauthorized blue.
We choose to remain colored by any means necessary.
You will not wash us out.
Let's see. Is there anything I think I've almost hit the 5 I've hit the 4 corners of the canceled square. Is there anything we haven't talked about?
No.
I mean, well, we got a little bit into mental health there, but let's talk shit about vegans. So you've been a vegan since you were 13, I believe you said, right?
Vegetarian since I was 10.
Okay.
Vegan since I was 18.
Okay, 18. Okay.
A long time.
Yeah. So, all right, I do have a question I've been meaning to ask, and now is a perfect time to ask. So, there's the whole, like, when someone is like, you hear this mostly when it's like someone that's straight or gay, right. And there's always that question of like, would you suck a dick, or like how right. Basically what would it take to what would it take to get you to switch? So right. People always ask this all the time, also of vegetarians and vegans. Now, I'm asking this because I already kind of sort of know the answer, and I love it because it's so on your Appalachian brand. Everyone thinks it's like, all right, if there's like a really good steak or something, but why is your meal that will maybe send you back a chili dog and a strawberry milkshake?
It's a chili dog and a strawberry milkshake. It is so redneck.
Yeah, that's like you would think it says like you're holding out for this very high end exquisite shit. No for
chili
you.
dog and a strawberry
No.
milkshake from the Snack Shack in South Point, Ohio.
Yeah,
I can still. It's like just like a freaking heroin addict tracing like the best freaking black tar they've ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the creme de la creme to me. And to this day, it's like I love vegan and vegetarian hot dogs because it's like I think I'm just trying to chase the high.
yeah, you're just scratching that itch.
Yeah, absolutely. I love them. And anytime I take anybody to South Point, I'm like, you got to go to Snack Shack.
Right.
I just sit there and watch and perch and like, eat the hot dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it very very porny kind
Tell
of
me
way.
which of the chemicals you taste.
Can you taste the suffering?
Yeah.
I can hear the squeal when you're snapping through the.
Do you get notes of sodium bicarbonate?
I think this one's got MSG in it. Ooh.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
Lips and assholes.
Yeah.
No, that was like when I ate meat, and being that it was Appalachian, it's like I ate everything that crawled, skittered. I had squirrel. I had at the time when I was a kid, black bear was still legal.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I actually had black bear. My we never called it venison. It was deer meat.
Deer.
Yeah, it's like my preferred meat, and I still think
venison sounds too French.
YT French. I love deer meat. Actually, squirrel's not bad, especially if you do it like my favorite way. And I didn't know until I was in school that most people didn't eat squirrel as their barbecued pulled pork. Like that's what I thought pulled pork was.
Okay.
Was squirrel. Yeah, because if you make squirrel with barbecue sauce and you bake it up, it tastes like barbecued pulled pork sandwiches. It really does. It takes a lot of squirrel.
That's the thing.
There's not a lot of meat on me.
And that's the thing. I would think squirrel was like pretty stringy too.
Yeah, but that's why you just slow and slow, right? And and I the first time I ever had it at school, I was like, why does this taste funny? And it was weird. And my father thought it was hysterical that I preferred the squirrel version because he would just tell us that was pulled pork.
Right.
Yeah, it was freaking squirrel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then my dad's best friend actually got arrested for hunting squirrel at the city park drunk. And it's so bad because our city park also has the library. So there's just this random drunk dude, broad daylight, hunting squirrels. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Again, it's so on brand. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, very much so.
So now I'm almost a little worried that if I ever go to a cookout at your house and I get in the crock pot and I'm like, all right, let's try this stupid barbecue jackfruit bullshit, and all of a sudden I'll get from the one that's squirrel.
That's my dad's recipe.
Yeah. I was like, oh no. I'm kidding. No, I'm not above the squirrel. I mean, I've had a lot of meats in my career as a carnivore. Like various fishes, like Greater Plains animals like yak, buffalo, elk, goat.
See, goat's my favorite animal, and my husband loves eating it.
Goat
He eats it all the time. Goat's my favorite animal. I love them.
I mean, I'll do like a goat curry, but that's about it. For me personally, I'm not a big goat fan, so it's not the goat for me. But yeah, I've had gator, kangaroo. I've had kangaroo.
What is kangaroo even like? Is there anything that's even similar?
It tastes like medicine.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking you would think it'd be somewhat lean.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they're jacked. Yeah. Couple various fishes. I'm not a big like squid fan. Honestly, I'm just not that big of a seafood fan yet. Like for me, it's like gotta
tentacles just in general. And then it's like, and then you think how incredibly intelligent octopuses are. Like, why?
Oh, so yeah.
I'm like, well, I don't want to eat anything that's smart.
Yeah.
Because if I ever went back, it'd probably be seafood. Just because it's like the only reason I am a vegetarian, all the other stuff is for health reasons. And look how fucking terrible my health is. But that's the only reason I am one. And I mean, now that I've lived this many years as one and stuff like that, there's a philosophical bent and such, but it's more for health reasons, for my own personal purposes. But I couldn't I couldn't go back to eat, like I would never eat octopus just because they're so smart. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's so much that we don't understand. It's like, what if we just haven't developed the technology really to be able to communicate with them yet? And they're the whole time. Then it's like, why? I don't understand why people eat lobsters either. It's a water cockroach. It's so gross. Yes. It's a water cockroach. It's a bottom feeder.
Yeah. Oh! and the thing is, and originally it was treated as such. Yeah. It was prisoner food.
It was prisoner food completely. I don't understand how it's a delicacy now. I'm like, it's just people that really love clarified butter. I don't get it.
Yes.
Because it doesn't have much of a flavor.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Because I had a lobster roll recently from like the lobster food truck, and I got like the warm one with like where it's basically just butter, and like I would get a piece that didn't get hit by butter, and I'm like, there's nothing to this. It's just this weird squishy texture.
Yeah.
And again, any kind of like bug, like the bigger it is, like I've had like crickets that were like dusted, like the seasonings and stuff. And that's fine because again, it's just pretty much pure crunch.
Right.
But like if you got into like a beetle or exactly, where it's like this mushy kind of.
Which is what I think of when you look at a cockroach. To me, they look like cockroaches. They do. They look like very large cockroaches. They look like a bug.
Yeah.
I'm like, of all the things you can eat, it's like, why the big bug? Might as well just eat bugs. I mean, that's what they do in Asia.
And then there's crab, which is like half roach, half spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least crab has some flavor.
Yeah, crab.
There's a very unique flavor. It's it's not as squishy and bug-like. I mean, there's a firmness to the meat.
Yeah.
Count Duckula.
Yeah. So I'll say, so how often do you have to thrive on human blood?
Every 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Every 4 weeks, I am infused. Every 4 weeks.
So what you're saying is you have once a month blood going out and blood going in.
Yes. Literally, yes.
Yep. You have a reverse period.
That's awesome. Reverse period every month.
That's awesome.
My Renfield, which is like, I even do a bit about like my personal nurse, so I call Renfield. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She comes over, and if I'm doing good, then it's just a regular 2-day dose. I'm hooked up to an IV for 2 days, and if I'm doing poorly, it's 5.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm hooked up to an IV, but my nurse has a life and stuff like that. I mean, she has to go home. She's got a family, whatever. Priorities. So I run from like 8 a.m. to like 5:36, and then we just took me off the bag itself, leave the line in. That way I can do hardcore street drugs easily. Right. I leave the line in. That way I don't get all kinds of bruises and blue veins and such. And then I just go to sleep. Yeah. Because the stuff wears you out. It absolutely wears you out. Mine is a plasma product. And it's called Marathon and a Needle because it just beats the crap out of you every month. And then some months it goes in and it's like saline. It's like, no problem. There's no rhyme or reason. It just depends on the antibodies that you're getting that month.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I've...
Real life vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll say I'm practically real life werewolf. Full moon, I always start to get under the weather or start to get angry. Covered head to toe in fur. Well, less on the head now, thanks to aging and chemicals in the water. And
the frog's gay. Sorry, it's still from last week.
Yeah.
Lost it.
I remember telling Jesse, like, you're gonna really love the second one. It's ignorant, and then. People were like, how ignorant.
Beside each other when it hit, and we literally just grabbed it and just lost it. We're on it, just boom. Yeah. So it's like, I'm like, what's it going to be? And then I was like, frogs. We just hit each other, just like, no. Yeah, that was so good.
And I was really, for those of you that are not familiar,
we went to Nemo's house, and he's a DJ.
Yeah, DJ DZ Sweets.
Yes.
And I cannot believe I actually got the crowd to repeat after me on the ribbit on some dick. As soon as I heard them actually say it back at me, I was like, you know what? I get why Trump got elected now.
Oh, see, I thought you'd be like, you know what? I get it. I'm going to need a compound. I'm going to be a cult leader. It's
Also,
this,
yes.
This power is what I wanted my whole life.
Yes. But no, I was like, okay, I get Hitler and Trump now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you can get people to say anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, if you can get someone to say ribbit, 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 ribbit on some dick, and then the second one, ribbit, 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 ribbit on a frog clit, then yeah, you can get people to say "Make America Great Again." You can make people say, "How Hitler." You can
You're gonna kill all the white people. Sorry, typo negative.
Yeah,
it's one of the best dubs ever. They dub Hitler's voice and they have him say "kill all the white people."
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, I gotta do my old school Elder Goth status there.
Oh, of course. Well, anyway, I do believe we are approaching the.
Oh
wow!
Holy crap!
Holy shit! This might be a two-parter. I might be splitting this. Well, now if you're hearing this, then I've probably split it. Wow!
Holy crap! Well, you said we might go long because we're funny when we talk.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Yes. So, without further ado, again, thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
So, Emmy Buttrick, please tell everybody where they can find you online, where they can follow.
Please find me. I'm the succubus of satire.com. I'm at Emmy Buttrick on Instagram, and my next big great thing coming up is the roast of Harry Potter. Yay! Yes.
I'll say typecast as Ginny Weasley.
Yes, very much so. I'm
and
extraordinarily looking forward to it.
I would say thank you. You're actually kind of working on an accent because I'm worried some of them are going to be like, nah, no accent. I'm just going to be funny. Like, no, we're selling an experience here. God damn it.
Selling an experience, darling. No, I've been driving my husband crazy.
It kills me doing stand-up comedy with people that weren't theater kids at one point in their life. They don't understand the commitment to a bit, to a character.
No, come on. It's like I'm a redhead. I get to wear a schoolgirl's outfit and do a British accent. Of course I'm doing it.
Yeah. Especially for all the phone numbers you'll get afterwards.
Exactly.
From
Number 5.
Yeah. From creepy fat guys that look like me in 5 years. Yeah. So.
Thank you. This has been great.
Again, and yeah, find me on social media. I will be sharing this roast like crazy. Like my life depends on it. Trek Brewing, December 9th. 8 o'clock show. Unless we sell a lot, then I'll split it to a early and a late show. And then leave your light on for your local postal carriers at night. It gets dark at 5:30 now.
Oh, that's true.
Say no to drugs unless they're free.
And or medicinal.
Or medicinal, yeah. And stay tuned. Thanks for listening.